Good morning, everyone. I'm here today on the range to look at something pretty neat. Let's take a look. Here in this backpack, I have a gun. Specifically, what I have is the Keltec CQB. Pops right open, and now it is a pistol caliber carbine. This is similar to the Keltec Sub 2000. What's unique about this one is that it is integrally suppressed. So up here we have a suppressor and a 5-inch barrel in here. And they picked the particular lengths here because this results in having a 16-inch barrel, which makes it so that this is not a short-barreled rifle, so you only need one tax stamp for it. So I got this. I had to wait about 11 months for the tax stamp to come through for the suppressor. But today I want to go ahead and take a look at it. The unique design feature here is this folding mechanism that lets this thing fold up and, as we saw, fit in a backpack. So let me go ahead and do that again. We've got this tab up here that I can pop up, and that allows the barrel to rotate. And once I have the barrel rotated, I can pull down on the trigger guard, and that allows this to fold backwards. And this is very similar to Keltec's Sub 2000. In addition to the suppressed barrel, we also have this rotation mechanism. The Sub 2000 doesn't rotate, and that allows us to have an optic like this one here mounted on it, even in the folded position, and even the optic fits okay in a backpack, although you can see here it makes the gun a little bit thicker than it otherwise would be. This thing is a 9mm pistol caliber carbine, and it takes Glock 17 mags. It comes with these Magpul mags, but let me go ahead and grab a real Glock mag and let's see how that fits in here. Just a quick safety note while I'm handling this. While this thing is folded, you can see the end of the barrel here that would be the chamber. There's no way that this thing can fire while it's folded. So if I happen to make the barrel go in front of my face like that while the gun is folded, I'm not flagging myself even if there were ammo here. Right now, there's not even a mag in the mag well, and we can go ahead and, I can't easily show clear. Let me try. Open this thing up. I can pull back the, the bolt here, and we can see that there's nothing there in the chamber. There is the empty chamber, but if I have this thing folded, there is no way that there could be a round chambered, and even if there was a round chambered, there's no way it could fire because the firing pin is in the grip assembly. So I had said I was going to demonstrate this thing with a Glock mag. Here is a Glock 17 magazine, new in box. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. Let's go ahead and drop this thing. All right, opening a Glock mag. No idea how to open this. The answer is always pocket knife. That's how you open things. So here is a Glock magazine. Here is our exciting Keltec, which has locked itself open, or locked itself in place upside down. So there's the thing. You go ahead and throw in this Glock magazine, and it locks right there in place. I'll go ahead and try this with ammo in a little while, but yeah, this does in fact fit Glock mags. So there's some interesting design trade-offs here. The way they did the folding mechanism is one of the things that they were trying to do is make sure that when this thing is folded, it can't fire. Because some states restrict the ability to have a gun that can fold down and fire when it's shorter. So one of the things that Keltec is trying to do, apparently even with their integrally suppressed gun here, is make sure that it doesn't run into restrictions that would prevent it from being marketed in restrictive states. That's kind of lame, but the gun's still pretty neat, so I didn't let that prevent me from getting it. So once we open this thing up, you can see I have the bolt locked back here. This allows us to quickly do that to get this thing into battery. And then this thing is a reciprocating charging handle when this thing's actually firing. So you want to make sure that you have your cheek on the top and not somehow on the bottom where this thing is going to run into it. You want to keep your hand out of the way while this thing's shooting. We have a non-adjustable stock here. There's some QD points here. I haven't actually tried a sling on this. We've got this big loop, which could also be used for a sling. The stock isn't bad. It's not like wonderfully comfortable, but this thing isn't terribly heavy. It's around 5 pounds. Well, this one's a little over 5 pounds because of the integrally suppressed barrel, but it's still under 6 pounds, I think. We've got rails for accessories. We've got this nice caution entire surface gets hot warning here on the suppressor, so that's why we have this big handguard to give us a place to hold this if it warms up, which it will warm up. I haven't shot enough through it to make it actually like painful to the touch hot, but it warms up reasonably quickly. With that, I think that's most of what I wanted to cover before I try shooting it. The first test that I want to do is just with a chronograph, see how speeds out of this with its 5-inch barrel in here compare to a handgun. So let me set up the chronograph and we'll give that a shot. I've got the chronograph set up behind me here, and I'm going to do some velocity testing. I want to test 2 different kinds of ammo. I want to test an example supersonic round and subsonic round, because for 9mm, both of those are generally available. And when shooting through a suppressor, I expect to see a significant benefit to sound level using supersonic ammo. But the barrel length is going to matter here quite a bit. And for some suppressed, especially pistol caliber carbines, there's stuff like venting that will bring standard velocity ammo down to subsonic. And I don't think that's the case with the CQB, but let's go ahead and see what the velocities look like. I'm gonna go ahead and start off here with this Federal 115 grain 9mm supersonic ammo. And I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it through my SIG P365XL just for comparison. Federal American Eagle 115 grain out of a 3.7-inch pistol barrel. .1156, 1154, 1108. Just going to do 3 because I want some general idea of what's going on. So we're talking a little over 1100 feet per second for supersonic 9mm out of a subcompact pistol length barrel. So this is going to be the Federal American Eagle 115 grain out of the Keltec CQB with a 4.25 inches of rifled barrel inside this integral suppressor assembly. The baffles start after the rifled barrel. With the supersonic ammo, I think this is hearing safe, but I'm going to go ahead and wear my hearing protection anyway. So let's give this a try. 1007. That's slower. .1139. That's a little faster. 1077. So the difference in velocity with the supersonic ammo between the 3.75-inch pistol barrel and the 4.25-inch barrel here doesn't appear to be especially significant. Next up, I'm going to try that again with this Federal American Eagle 147 grain subsonic ammo. First out of the pistol and then out of the Keltec CQB. So the difference in appearance between subsonic and supersonic 9mm is kind of amusing. Here is the 115 grain federal ammo that I was testing, and here's the 147 grain Subsonic, and it almost looks like a semi-wad cutter with the flat tip there instead of the rounded tip. So let's go ahead and see how this feeds through my pistol. Federal American Eagle 147 grain through a 3.75 inch pistol barrel. 957, 943, 941. So that is noticeably slower than the Supersonic ammo was. That makes sense. Speed of sound is somewhere around 1050. So this is well under the speed of sound. Even in a slightly longer barrel, I wouldn't expect this 147 grain to hit the sound barrier and start having a supersonic crack. Let's go ahead and try it out of the CQB. All right, Federal American Eagle 147 grain. That's going to be subsonic through the Keltec CQB's 4.52 inches of threaded barrel. This is going to be subsonic through a suppressor, so it's going to be hearing safe. I'm not bothering with headphones for this. So let's go ahead and see how fast it actually is. .861, 868, 908. So that is conclusively slower than the velocity figures out of the handgun. I'm not exactly sure why that is, but we get the results that we get when we actually test things. At the time of filming this, there's only a couple videos up with the Keltec CQB. One of them, by Gunspot, tested accuracy for the CQB at 30 yards and got terrible results. They're reporting 8-inch groups shooting from prone. So I want to go ahead and I've set up a target back here, and I want to see if we can do better than an 8-inch group at 30 yards. So I've come back here to actually 35 yards back from my target there. We have this rock right here. So I'm going to shoot from this rock. This is a little further back than I normally shoot from, so we hit a rock, but this should be a reasonable thing to stabilize on. Keltec CQB with Federal American Eagle 147 grain at 35 yards. Let's see what sort of group I can get. I'm kneeling rather than prone, but if I can't beat an 8-inch group at this distance, we will have confirmed the inaccuracy claim. All right, let's go take a look. Of the 5-shot group I just shot, looking here at the target, I can find one. So that's not a very good group. Let me try to debug this and see if I can figure out what's going on. So at like 10 yards maybe, that's the group I'm getting. So maybe it's misses. I think I'm gonna have to paste those up and try another group just to try to confirm. All right, I give in. I'll try it prone from 25 yards. I'm grabbing that stump. All right, prone from 25 yards, braced on a stump. So what we have here is a 5-shot group at 25 yards, as well as I knocked the stickers off a 3-shot group at 10 or 12 yards. And so this is looking a little bit better than my first set where I wasn't even hitting the target. So I guess I'll go back again to 35 yards and try this again with a new sticker and see if I can get the whole group on the 6-inch target. If I'm going to shoot from prone, I can try to do exactly 30 yards. So let's give this a try at the fresh 6-inch target from 30 yards. Didn't have that on my shoulder quite right, so that hurt a little, but let's see if we hit a little. So here's my 5-shot group at 30 yards from the prone. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 nice and tight, and then I have this flyer, and I don't know what's going on with that. I think what I want to do with this is go ahead and put up another sticker and try another group and see how this compares. So far, this looks like we're doing quite a bit better than the 8-inch groups that we were afraid of, at least with my gun and with the ammo that I'm testing with. All right, one more try with the 147 grain ammo. Let's see if I can get a tighter group or not. So this is really neat. So here's the group I just shot. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have no idea where the 5th one is. So either I'm doing something wrong or this gun is inconsistent. Now, almost certainly I'm doing something wrong, but I kind of want to figure out what I'm doing wrong. So guess I have to go try that again. All right, take 3. Let's see if I can figure this out. So here's the third group I shot of 147 grains at 30 yards. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is not too dissimilar from the first group I shot if we count the flyer in that first group. So what we're looking at is a 1, 2, 3, 4-inch group from 30 yards. That's not great, but that's a little bit better than the 8-inch group we were afraid of. So this is what I'm going to claim is reasonable from the gun I have. I don't know what happened with that last group. That would have been like a 6-inch group. So to be sure that there's not some awkwardness going on with the gun, I'd have to shoot a bunch more groups. I don't have an unlimited supply of additional ammo, so I'm not going to sit out here shooting a ton more groups. But looks like we can at least hit a 6-inch target at 30 yards if I were to zero this appropriately and then not be bad at shooting. All right, next up I want to see what the group looks like with the 115 grain bullets. So I've loaded up some Supersonics and put my headphones back on, and let's go ahead and shoot these. Here's the Supersonic group I just shot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just arbitrarily shot an extra one. We can see that the point of impact has shifted a little bit. Before we were getting hits on the left of the bullseye. Now we're getting hits on the right of the bullseye. I'm not entirely sure why velocity change or whatever would cause me to be hitting the other side of the target. Again, this could just be me being terrible. Group size didn't magically shrink down to something drastically better than the 147 grains. So yeah, I think it shoots supers okay, and it shot subs okay. So there we have a 12-inch gong out at about 50 yards. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can hit it. I'm shooting the 115 grain supers right now. So this should be about as easy as a 6-inch group at 25 yards. I'm doing this standing, so that's why I'm gonna miss, I say. That was 5 hits in a row, so that's not too bad. Let's try it with the 147 grain, guys. All right, now with subs at the gong at 50 yards. That's a 12-inch gong again. Again, I was able to get 5 hits in a row. Maybe this is 45 yards, but still, that's not much more difficult than getting a 6-inch group, and again, I got 5 in a row standing. Not sure why I'm apparently terrible at firing from the prone. One thing that I've noticed shooting this gun is that it's kind of dirty. I just pulled the mag out after shooting 5 rounds at the target up there. And I don't know if you can see this. Let me see if I can force this thing to focus on the mag. But that top round there is awfully gross, covered in carbon and residue. And I think that explains something that we saw earlier. So I think this gun here is has a direct blowback action. Is it not focusing? There, it focused. So I think this gun is direct blowback, and that's why we saw lower muzzle velocities when we chronographed it compared to the pistol, which has a lockup mechanism in it. And so instead of sending all the gases down the barrel, we're sending some of the gases down the magwell, and that's going to make this a little bit more annoying to clean than it would be if it had some sort of lockup mechanism. All right, let me go ahead and shoot just a few more rounds so you can see this thing cycle, because that's apparently fun. Again, I'm shooting at the 50-yard target with subsonic ammo. And there is a round in the chamber. And again, apparently I can hit that repeatedly. Let's try one more thing. I've got 4 rounds of ammo left from the boxes I had open, and I have a target out there at 100 yards. Let's watch me miss 4 times. Ding! 4th round I hit. Awesome. Magazines. I had opened up a Glock magazine at the beginning of the video to test, and it came with this Magpul magazine. And for the entire video, I was using the Glock mag for the 147 grain Subsonics, and I was using the Magpul mag for the 115 grain Supersonics, and they both work fine. The only real difference I see between these two mags, the Glock mag is a little bit heavier. The Glock mag has these witness holes so that you can conceptually see whether it's loaded, although I had some trouble actually seeing through the holes to see what's going on, see whether there's cartridges in there. And the other thing is that the Magpul mag has a orange follower, which makes the gunk that this gun blows down its magwell quite a bit more obvious than the black follower on the Glock mag. So yeah, it works with Glock mags. So that was a quick look at the Keltec CQB. We went ahead and chronographed it and compared those results to a pistol, discovering that even though this had a slightly longer barrel than the pistol, it shoots bullets a little bit slower, probably because it is a direct blowback design rather than having any locking mechanism. The direct blowback design also results in getting some crud down the magwell, which is not the greatest thing. I'll have to put some more effort into cleaning this than I would optimally like, but I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. And the other neat thing is we got to take a look at this collapsing mechanism, which is sort of the neat feature of the Keltec Sub 2000, which this is based on. And this even has this improved rotation mechanism that lets us have an optic mounted even when we have it folded. Now, actually folding this and getting it to click back together is somewhat difficult. I had to put a little bit of force in there to get it to click, but now it's in there. The other thing that we tested is the accuracy. And the other channel that had tested accuracy with this on YouTube had discovered that they were having some serious accuracy issues with theirs, seeing 8-inch groups at 30 yards. In my testing, the accuracy isn't great, but it's not quite that bad. And I don't think that this optic mounting mechanism is innately bad. The sort of wobbliness that we get from having the folding mechanism doesn't make the optic wobbly compared to the barrel, and so it's possible to have at least some accuracy out of this design. And I think that's all I have to say about this thing for the moment. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments, and also check the description for a link to the blog that goes along with this YouTube channel, where you can follow me by RSS, and then you'll actually get stuff that I post regardless of what video platform you're on seeing this, or however much effort mainstream video platforms want to go to get rid of firearms content. So have a wonderful rest of your day.